Time now for Media Watch with Emma James. And Emma, you've been taking a look at the story that's been dominating the internet and social media since yesterday, and that's Donald Trump's decision to ban transgender people serving in the US Armed Forces.
Yes, absolutely. Once again, Donald Trump has served up controversy and division with one of his tweet storms, and the reactions just keep on coming. At the front page of the New York Daily News today, certainly pulling no punches, "Commander in Hate" is their headline. And they have the subheading, "Cruel Betrayal Built on Lies," because, of course, Donald Trump talked about wanting to ban transgender people from the military because of the cost and the disruption that it would cause. Two claims that have been largely debunked ever since he sent out those tweets yesterday. Now, some of the most enlightening, interesting and important, I think it's fair to say, responses have actually come from people with the most knowledge of the subject, those who have served in the military and who are transgender. This response came straight away from one veteran to a message directly to Donald Trump: "You just opened a can of whoop-ass. Meet me and tell me I'm not worthy to my face." Now that is Kristen Beck, as she looked when serving in the Navy SEALs, no less. Very much the elite, the creme de la creme. This is how Kristen Beck looks now. Now, she served for 20 years, and as you can see, she's wearing her medals there. Apparently, she has more than 50 medals. Those two are the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star with Valour. So she is somebody who has served her country with great effect and has been rewarded for that. Now, what she has said is that, "I don't want anything extra, just what everyone else has: dignity and respect and the chance to serve my country. Being transgender doesn't affect anyone else," and that is a very important point to make. Now, what many people have said, though, in response, those who are critical of this whole argument and possibly backing Donald Trump, say that her words don't matter because she's no longer serving. Well, if we take a look at this from the Air Force Times, this gentleman is in the US Air Force, Staff Sergeant Logan Ireland. He is currently serving, and what he says is, "I would like to see them try to kick me out of my military." He goes on in this interview to say that, "You're not going to deny me my right to serve my country when I am fully qualified and able and willing to give my life." How many of us can say that? If you are on the side of perhaps believing that transgender people don't have a role to play in the military, or you don't understand what all the fuss is about, then I would point you in the direction of this article in Rolling Stone. It is really interesting to read. It's by a gentleman called Shane Ortega, who was the very first openly transgender man to serve in the US Army. He's now retired. And what he says is he is very worried about the precedent that this sets up. He says, if you can enforce a discriminatory ban against what America likes to idealise as the pinnacle of being an American, what does that mean for the regular Joe? And it is a very good question to ask. He says this is so much more than people needing jobs or serving or war. This is about who is considered a valid human being and who gets to decide. And as far as he's concerned, that decision does not lie with the US president, whoever it may be. Now, obviously, the late night talk show hosts and comedians last night did a lot of poking fun, taking aim at the US president over this. Many really seeming quite angry about the whole story. But it was an appearance on Jimmy Fallon by a transgender comedian that I think probably best sums up how a lot of people feel. Take a look at what she had to say.
Now, I don't necessarily want to serve in the military, but I want the right to serve. You know, it's like, I don't want to go to your baby shower, but I want the invite. And I get it. If you constantly draw attention to yourself, spend all day distracting everyone, and cost taxpayers millions of dollars, the perfect job for you isn't the military, it's the President of the United States.
So that is the wonderful Patty Harrison, who appeared on the Jimmy Fallon show last night.
And Emma, you also have a tale of a bid for romance, all played out on social media, that's actually ended with accusations of environmental vandalism.
Yes, is a rather bizarre connection to make. It all started with Craig Sullivan, a 49-year-old widower, who decided to go for an unusual way to try to attract some love into his life. Instead of going for Tinder or one of those other sort of matchmaking websites, he posted this on Medium, a blog site, saying that he was going to release messages in bottles, inspired by the song by the band The Police. He then went off, set off around the UK with the plan to release 2,000 bottles into the sea at all different sites around the UK. And it started off fairly well. This was the message that was going to be inside all of the bottles, and indeed was. However, a lot of people started to raise questions about how environmentally friendly this is. I love how romantic your idea is, but please reconsider putting all of these into the sea. And this person actually went on to say, how about coming to a beach litter cleanup party, and then maybe you'll meet somebody there. We all deserve love and clean beaches, she says. Not all of the responses were quite as nice. Can we get this half-wit arrested, stopped, educated, or something? And the problem was that many of the bottles actually just came straight back onto the beach. These were all picked up on a beach in Wales. He's now said he's rethinking his plan, but he has had quite a few responses. Apparently he's got 50 dates lined up.
Good for him. Emma James with Media Watch, thank you very much. We're taking a very quick break now. Do stay with us here on France 24. More world news coming up.